Hello, welcome to more yoga with me, Emily. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're having a great day. And as always, if you're not, that after a bit of yoga, hopefully you'll feel a little bit better. It is so bright and sunny here today in Vancouver. It's making my room look dark in here, but that's okay because we're going to bring the fire and the heat today. We're going to do a slow flow, nothing too crazy. It's all going to be, uh, well, you'll see what it's going to be like. As always, this is your class. So do whatever you need to it. If downward facing dog is better than a flow, then take downward facing dog. If child's pose is going to work better for you, then take the rest in child's pose. If you want to add on, feel free to add on within safe parameters. All right, so let's start in child's pose. Your knees could be wide with the toes together, and this is going to help release through the hips a little bit more and give you a little bit more clearance for your belly, for your breath. If you want to release a bit more through the low back, then you'd have the thighs together, but you'll have more compression through the belly. So go wherever you need to go. And then sometimes I like to kind of, take a bit of time to press my hips back just to release a little bit more before I fold down toward the earth. And if the floor is feeling far away from you, you might bring your hands underneath your forehead just to bring the floor up to you. Or maybe you have your arms extended. Elbows could be straight or bent. Or maybe you bend the elbows and bring your hands into prayer behind your head. Just really going wherever you need to go. And for a couple of breaths here, inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh your breath away. Couple more. With each exhale, let your body kind of soften a little bit closer towards the earth. With each inhale, imagine your spine lengthening from your tailbone all the way up to the crown of your head. Inhale to find the length, and exhale to soften. A couple more breaths, just like this. And then staying in child's pose, extend your arms in front of you and then start to walk over the left edge of your mat. So it's super normal for your head or your hips to lift up a bit here. You can clamp down on top of one hand with the other, but breathe now into the right side of the body. And as you exhale, lengthen your right sit bone back toward your heels. Inhale, puff into the ribs. And exhale, lengthen. 2 more breaths here. And then on your inhale, walk through center over to the right edge of your mat. Now getting into the left side of the body. Inhale, breathe into the ribs. Exhale, lengthen the left sit bone back. 2 more, or a few more breaths here rather. Puff up into the ribs. And exhale, lengthen. And on your inhale, come back to center. Bring your palms to the floor underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up to hands and knees. Well, it's a long time to be in child's pose, so you might release the compression on the back of the legs, stepping one leg back out behind you, and then the other. And then coming to a quadruped or hands and knees position today, because we're going to be flowing through downward facing dog. Let's make sure that we set up our hands nice and wide, so outer shoulder width apart or wider. So that means when you look at the outer edge of the shoulder, it should line up with the middle of the wrist, and the vertex of your peace fingers should also line up with the middle of the wrist. So you've got slight external rotation at the shoulders, and it becomes a really strong position and also prevents impingement. On your inhale, lift the tailbone to the sky, hollow through the lower back, broaden through the collarbones. Exhale, round through the spine. Tuck your tailbone under, press the floor away. Inhale, dip into cow. Exhale, round into cat. So a few more of these undulations on your own time, on your own breath. Maybe wiggle a little bit from side to side. Right? Maybe you slept weird and you need to get into a different part of your back. So just go where you need to go. A couple more breaths here. Right? It might look nothing at all like cat and cow. And that's okay. I'm not watching. Probably no one else is watching. And if they are, it doesn't matter. Cat and cow, like nobody is watching. Okay, come back to center. Really draw the belly button to spine. Make sure your hands haven't migrated toward each other. Nice and wide through the fingertips, especially tuck the toes. Exhale, lift your hips up and back into your downward facing dog. And you might pedal at the heels here or wag your tail from side to side, particularly if this is your first downward facing dog of the day. Take your time to ease into it. You might even shift your weight forward and back a little bit. Make sure that the weight is more toward the fingertips and less in the heels of the hands. So hug the upper arm bones toward each other a little bit more here. Couple more breaths. And then bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of your mat. Standing forward fold. You might rest your elbows on your knees or thighs, or perhaps bring your hands to blocks. You might clasp opposite elbows with hands to get more traction through the spine. You could be still. You could sway a little bit from side to side. It really doesn't matter, so long as your knees aren't locked out or hyperextended. Right. Trust me. Do not hyperextend your legs. It might feel fine for a couple years, but then it will really not feel fine for a few years. Okay, and then bring your fingertips to your shins or the earth or blocks. Inhale, little partway lift. Belly button to spine. Exhale, let it all go. Couple more. And then bend your knees with your head heavy, your arms heavy. Slowly start to roll up to standing. One vertebra at a time. As slow as you need to go. Till eventually you come all the way up to standing. Couple loops of your shoulders, up, back, and down. Little wiggle or shake out. I prefer practicing with my feet hip width apart. If you want to touch with or practice with your feet touching, go ahead and do that. And then hug the legs toward each other. Tailbone to the earth slightly. Not so much that you're tucking under, but we also don't want to have this sort of lordotic spine. Right? And then belly button to spine, shoulder blades on your back. There we go. Okay, inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Maybe follow with your gaze. Exhale, dive or fold down to the earth. Fingertips to your shins. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Inhale, hop, step, or float back to plank. Top of a push-up, either from your toes or from your knees, wherever you need to be today. But keep your hands nice and wide. Spread the fingers wide. Squeeze your bum. Squeeze the tops of the thighs. Draw your lower ribs up to the sky so that you're not dipping in the low back, but you're also not hiking the hips up, right? It's plank. And then look to the top edge of your mat. You can always come down to your knees first. Exhale, lower all the way down to the earth. Little wiggle of the hips from side to side. Once you get there, untuck your toes. Press the tops of the feet into the floor, so much so you feel your kneecaps lift away. Send your tailbone to the back wall. Belly button to spine. Inhale, lift the heart forward and up. Baby cobra. Back the neck stays long so you're not leading with your chin. Exhale. Lower back down. A couple more of these extensions on your own time, on your own breath. Hands can hover or come out off the mat. Maybe you press up a little bit higher, but I really want you to think of protecting the low back. So squeeze your bum the whole time. Okay, the next time you come back down, plant your hands, tuck your toes, exhale, lift up and back, downward facing dog. Now you can always transition through hands and knees or child's pose to get here if you wish. Little bend in the knees, press the floor away from you with your hands, and then look forward. Exhale, walk, step or hop to the top edge of your mat. Fingertips to shins, inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, right back down to the earth. Forward fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Inhale, hop, step, or float back to plank. Exhale, lower all the way or partway to the earth. Inhale through baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of the mat. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, right back down to the earth. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Inhale, hop, step, or float back to plank. Exhale, lower all the way or partway to the earth. Inhale through your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. Pause here, a couple breaths. Press the floor away from you. On your inhale, lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. Wrap the outer right hip to the floor so it's not opening up to the side. Exhale, draw knee towards the nose, shoulders over wrist, hips high. Inhale, back up. Exhale, right knee to right armpit or elbow, hips high. Inhale, back up. Exhale, draw the knee across to the left side. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee comes to nose, and then pause here. Couple breaths. Press the floor away a little bit more. And then exhale, step your right foot to your thumb. Your back knee can be up or down. And then inhale, come up for lunge. Okay, go ahead, shake it out. Go off alignment. Do whatever you need to do so that you can start to settle into that front knee. Squeeze the bum on the back leg. Drive through the front heel. And then as much as you're grounding into the earth, can you float, rebound through the upper body? Couple breaths here. Really squeeze the bum on that back leg. Okay, grab hold of the sky with your right hand as you exhale. Sweep the left hand to the earth, more or less in line with your front heel. Corkscrew the bottom shoulder onto the back to spiral towards the front knee. Again, back knee could be up or down, and maybe you take big sweeping shapes with that top arm. Keep that little squeeze of the bum on the back leg. Last couple breaths here. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, flow, or downward facing dog. Okay, on your inhale, lift your left leg high, three-legged dog, square the hips. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, back up, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to left armpit or elbow, hips high. Inhale, back up. Exhale, draw the knee across to the right-hand side. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose, and then pause here. Press the floor away a little bit more. And then exhale, step left foot to thumb, back knee up or down. And then inhale, come up for lunge. Again, you can shake it out. Go off alignment, release whatever you need to. But then start to sink into that front knee. Squeeze the bum on the back leg. Maybe the arms float up to the sky, but chill out on those shrug muscles. Really squeeze the bum on the back leg. And then grab hold of the sky with your left hand. Exhale, sweep the right hands to the earth. And then spiral to that front knee. Wrap the bottom shoulder onto your back in particular. And maybe big sweeping shapes with that top arm. Keep squeezing the bum on the back leg. Okay. Last couple breaths, wherever you need to go. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step back, flow, down dog, or child's pose for a few breaths. Whatever you need to help reset. So 3 more breaths, wherever you need to be. Can you find your breath again? Let it slow down a bit. And then let's meet back in downward facing dog. Fingers spread nice and wide. On your inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, step your right foot to your thumb. Keep the back knee lifted this time, if that's going to work for your body. Wrap the back hip forward, front hip back. Inhale, come up for your high lunge. Now I really want you to squeeze the bum on the back leg, squeeze the top of the side. Maybe you can stack your heel over your toes if that becomes a strong position, but you'll get more compression on the fronts of the toes and then sink into the front knee. Maybe the arms float up. Chill out on the shrug muscles. Now, option to stay here or really working with that back leg as your anchor. Keep it strong. Exhale, sweep forward, arms behind you. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, fly. So a few of these on your own time, on your own breath. And it might be really slow and controlled. It might be full of wild abandon. And it's wobbly. It's shaky. But that's okay. And the next time you come up, pause there. Okay, bend the back knee. Bring your arms to cactus. Inhale, straighten both legs. And exhale, sink. And up. And down. And up. Last time. Okay, exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands, step back, flow, or downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your left leg high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step your left foot to your thumb, back knee high. Maybe you step the feet a little bit wider, and then charge through both legs. Inhale, come up to your high lunge. Really supercharge the back leg towards straight. Squeeze the bum, squeeze the top of the thigh. Wrap the right hip forward, left hip back, sink into the front knee. So option to stay here with the arms gently floating to the sky, or exhale, sweep forward. Inhale, back up. Exhale, fly. Couple more. On your own time, on your own breath. Maybe it's more stable on this side. Maybe the other side was more stable. Maybe they're both equally wobbly. Last one. And then pause at the top. Bend both knees. Bring your arms to cactus. And then come back up. And bend. And straighten. Couple more. Pause. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands, step back, flow. Down dog or child's pose. Couple breaths wherever you need to go. Okay, my friends in child's pose. Meet us back in down dog or hands and knees. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, step your right foot to your thumb. Pause here, fingertips on the floor. Look at the back leg. And then step it out a little bit wider. Wrap the back heel to the floor for warrior one. Start to wrap the left hip forward. Draw your right hip back. Supercharge the back leg towards straight. Belly bend to spine. Maybe you reach the right arm forward up. And then the left, drive through the front heel to come all the way up to your warrior one. Now it's super normal for the hips to be on an angle. We just don't want them to be totally open to the side, right? Warrior one is about moving forward. Squeeze the bum, squeeze the top of the thigh. Can you de-weight the big toe on the back foot so that you're not rolling into the arch of the foot? Sink into the front knee. Okay, bring your arms to cactus. Spin your palms sideways and start to press into imaginary walls on either side of you, really firing up medial deltoids. And then wrap the arms back behind you, elbows, palms to the back wall, hard squeeze on the shoulder blades. Maybe they create a little platform to lift your heart up higher. Keep breathing here. Okay, inhale, straighten through your front leg. Exhale, swan dive forward. Working towards both legs straight in pyramid. So you might step the back foot up or wider from where it is, and that can often make this much more accessible for both legs straight. Really wrap the left hip forward, draw your right hip back. Little buoyancy on the knees. Maybe you have hands on blocks like I do to bring the floor up to you. Maybe fingertips are on the floor. Maybe you gently rest your palms on that front thigh or shin, so long as you're not jamming the knee open, or hands can hover. If they are hovering, squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. Last couple breaths here. And then gently bend into the front knee. Walk your fingertips or your blocks forward. Inhale, lift the back leg. Standing L shape or a standing splits. When you look back, make sure the toes are flexing towards the floor rather than out to the left. Wrap the outer left hip to the floor, spiral the inner left thigh up to the sky, and then really wrap the right hip back. I don't care how deep of a bend you have on the supporting leg, but squeeze the top of the thigh on that lifted leg to reach a little bit further away. And then exhale. Step to your standing forward fold. Whoo, little bounce or sway. Fingertips to shins. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back, flow, or downward facing dog. Okay, last round. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, step left foot to thumb. Back knee stays up. Pause here, fingertips on the floor. Look back, step the back foot into warrior one position. Any angle that heel needs to be on, so you can start to really wrap the right hip forward, draw the left hip back long through the spine, belly button to spine. Maybe you reach the left arm forward and up, and then the right, and then drive through the front heel to come up to your warrior one. The idea being that we've set the foundation before we come up, but you can always adjust. Squeeze the top of the thigh and the back leg, squeeze the bum. Can you de-weight the big toe on the back foot? Maybe not today, but maybe you start to work toward it, right? Just so that you aren't rolling into the arch of the foot. Sink into the front knee. And then bring your arms to cactus. Spin your palms sideways, press into those imaginary walls. And then wrap the elbows, the shoulder blades, the palms back behind you. Lift through the heart, maybe. And then inhale, straighten through the front leg. Exhale, swan dive forward. Again, working towards both legs straight in pyramid. So you might step the back foot up or a little bit wider from where it is. Maybe you have fingertips on the floor comfortably. Maybe you want to bring blocks underneath the hands. Maybe the hands are hovering wherever you are. Wrap the back hip forward. Draw the front hip back. Belly button to spine. Little micro bend or at least buoyancy on those knees so that they're not locked out. One more inhale. One sweet exhale. Bend into the front knee. Walk your fingertips or your blocks forward. And then inhale, start to lift the back leg up for your standing splits. Really direct the toes toward the floor rather than out toward the right. Wrap that supporting hip back. Imagine that I was trying to pull your lifted foot away from you. Can you resist that to maybe lift the leg a bit higher? Last inhale here. Exhale, step to your standing forward fold. Whew, little bounce Little sway. Inhale, a little partway lift. Exhale, let it go. 2 more. Okay, bend your knees, plant your hands, step back. One last flow if you would like to, or downward facing dog. Okay, from downward facing dog, gently release your knees to the floor. Shift your hips on one side so your legs can swing forward. And let's roll down to the mat. You can use your hands to help walk yourself down or do a Pilates style roll down if you wish. And then once you're on your back, hug your knees into your chest, little rock from side to side. Whew. Take the knees wide out toward your shoulders or armpits. You might stay here or kick your feet up to the sky for happy baby. You can grab the backs, the thighs, or somewhere along the legs, the ankles, or the feet. Just getting a little release into the low back as well as the hips. Okay, bring your knees back to center. Let's move into a twist. So right arm out to the side. Maybe you shift your hips right to start with, and then exhale, lower your knees to the left. Now you can take any variation of twist that you would like to, whether the knees are stacked, legs crossed, or a single leg twist. Can you go somewhere where you can be at ease though? So the feet are on the floor. Maybe if you'd like a little bit more support, you bring a block between your legs or underneath the bottom knee. And you might look along the right arm to finish off the spiral in your spine. Last couple breaths here. And then inhale, return to center, reset your pelvis or your spine. Maybe you shift the hips left. Exhale, lower your knees to the right. Again, any variation of twist that you need, as deep or as gentle as you need on this side. Even with twists, one side can feel so different from the other. So just go where you need to go. Allow your breath to slow down, which will allow the heart rate to slow down. Last moments here. And then inhale, return to center, reset your pelvis or spine. If there's anything else you feel like you need before your rest, please feel free to take it. Otherwise, make your way into your final resting pose, whether it's flat on your back, legs bent or straight in Shavasana. Maybe you choose to rest on your side or in a seated meditation, wherever you need to go. And then for a few breaths, inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh your breath away. Couple more. With each exhale, let your body melt a little bit deeper into the earth. Let go of any last muscle gripping or tension, particularly in your neck or your jaw. And stay here longer if you can, 5 or 10 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.